Way out in the rugged mountains of northwestern China, you'll find Gansu province. It's a place of breathtaking beauty, but also one that's incredibly fragile. And right now, that region is getting hammered by killer floods that have stopped life in its tracks. The rain just hasn't let up, setting off terrifying flash floods and landslides all across the province. Streams that were just swelling a little at first turned into raging rivers of destruction, tearing through valleys and towns. Nature just completely took over, swallowing homes, roads, and fields under a thick blanket of muddy water. For the people on the ground, it's been pure chaos. They talk about rivers just bursting their banks with no warning at all. Walls of water came roaring down narrow mountain paths at terrifying speeds. In a lot of these towns, the water rose so fast, people had only minutes to get out, leaving everything behind just to scramble for higher ground. Tragically, people have died in these floods, and dozens more are still missing as the rescue missions press on. In the more remote spots, whole villages are completely cut off from the world. Power and communication lines are down, leaving people stranded and making it a nightmare for rescue teams to get in. Helicopters and boats are the only way to reach the survivors now. They are their only lifeline. The rescue teams are in a race against time, fighting against some really treacherous conditions. And the very land itself in Gansu, with its steep slopes, narrow valleys, and loose soil, just makes these floods even more destructive. All it takes is a heavy rain to soak that fragile ground, and you've got deadly mudslides and flash floods tearing down the mountainsides. And experts are warning us that as the world's climate keeps changing, we're going to see these kinds of extreme weather events happen more often and with more power. One story that really hits you comes from a mountain village where an elderly couple had to be rescued from their own rooftop after the floodwaters completely swallowed their home. Nearby, kids were seen clinging to pieces of furniture, using them as makeshift rafts as their families tried to escape the rising water. It's these moments of courage and people sticking together that really show you the strength of the human spirit, even when things are at their worst. The authorities have launched a massive rescue operation, sending in soldiers, firefighters, and medics to the hardest hit areas. Relief centers are popping up to give folks shelter, food, and medical care after they've lost their homes. But getting aid to them is a huge challenge, with the roads destroyed and the ground still unstable. And even after the immediate danger is over, the fight is far from finished.
Wow, 吓死人！
Farmland has been wiped out, which threatens the food supply and the way people make a living around here. Bridges, power grids, All that critical infrastructure is in ruins. For so many people, the road back is going to be long and tough, especially with the constant threat of more bad weather. This tragedy in Gansu isn't just an isolated incident. It's part of a bigger pattern we're seeing across China. Over the last few years, massive floods have repeatedly forced people from their homes, destroyed property, and caused so much heartbreak. And scientists are all pointing to the same culprit, climate change, which is fueling more intense rainstorms and pushing rivers past their breaking points. Hotter temperatures mean more water evaporates into the air, and what goes up must come down, as heavier and heavier rain. In response, officials in China are stressing the need to upgrade flood defenses, get better early warning systems in place, and make sure communities are ready. While they've made some progress, what's happening in Gansu is a brutal reminder that they need to invest even more in stronger infrastructure and faster emergency response. For the people caught in the middle of this nightmare, it's all about one thing right now: survival. You see families sticking together, neighbors helping each other through the floodwaters, and volunteers working around the clock to bring relief. Their courage, when faced with such impossible odds, is a real glimmer of hope in all this devastation. As these climate-fueled disasters become more common all over the world, what's happening in Gansu is a sobering reminder that being prepared and acting fast is what saves lives. It's also a wake-up call for governments, scientists, and all of us to work together to build a safer, more resilient future. Even though these floods have brought incredible hardship to Gansu, the strength and unity of its people are shining through. Every rescue, every shared meal, every person lending a hand, they all tell a story of hope and the will to carry on. Thanks for joining us to learn more about this ongoing crisis. If you found this story informative, please hit that like button, share it, and subscribe to help us spread the word. Your support really does make a difference in helping us give a voice to these important stories. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.